What is up, folks, and welcome to the BJT Show, where I talk about sports, media, entertainment, and such things. I'm your host, Byron, and in this episode, I have a very special guest. He played defensive back for Baylor, and he just recently declared for the 2026 NFL Draft. Kendrick Simpkins. Kendrick, thank you for joining.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So I want to start off with your recruitment process in high school. What was that like for you?
Um, it was good. It was crazy. I think I had somewhere around like 20 offers, 20, 25 offers. So, I was blessed. I got to thank God for that. I was originally committed to FAU when Lane was there. He ended up leaving, going to Ole Miss. And so then that kind of shaked up my process. And then it was kind of between like Tennessee, Colorado, and then like Western Kentucky came in late. Um, a lot of when I decommitted, a lot of the classes had filled up. So once I was waiting, Western Kentucky was just the best option. And then the head coach, Coach Helton, he was also at Tennessee as the OC when they around the time they was recruiting me, and so the fit just felt great. We had Clayton White was our DC that year. He's now at South Carolina, so it was just I felt like it was just the best for me.
What was your experience like at Western Kentucky overall?
Overall, it was good. I mean, that's still home to me. They grew me up from a little kid, so like I still got love for coaches, players. I still talk to all my dogs, some coaches that went there. Like, it was a great experience.
Now, you also transferred to Baylor. So, what was that whole process for you transferring from Western Kentucky to Baylor?
It was good. It was a little scary at first. I was just comfortable. I was there for 4 years at Western, so it was just a lot of new changing, new little parts, meeting people, new people. I would say it was challenging a little bit, like at first, but like it was great. It ended up paying off for me. It was different. Had some things going on in my life. Baylor just being a school that they are kind of got me closer to God. Kind of just refreshed where my path or where I was going.
What was the biggest difference that you saw between being at Western Kentucky and being at Baylor? Was you going to Baylor not necessarily like a culture shock for you, but was it like a wow, this is like really different? This is a bigger school, a bigger conference, and things like that?
I would say in some sorts when it was came to the like the resources I had at Baylor, it was more like wow, like I'm not used to this. But as far as like the playing field, like I fit just right in, and at Western Kentucky we scheduled our non-conference, we scheduled a lot of big games that wasn't just, some little easy cakewalk. So I think from that piece, competitive piece, like the aspect, like I was already ready for that. Like I said, my strength coaches and my trainers I had me ready for that. But the resources for sure was just the main like big change, big wow. Like I ain't have this for 4 years where I was at.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand that for sure. What do you think was your best game at Baylor?
My best game at Baylor, I'll either have to say Kansas State this year or either last year I'll say Utah between those two.
Who was the best wide receiver that you went against while you were in college?
Best receiver, I have to say when I was at Western Kentucky, Malachi Corley. He's in the NFL now with the Browns. That's my dog. I'll say like we competed every day for sure.
Nice, nice. And now I understand that you recently declared for the 2026 NFL draft. How has that whole process been for you, just getting ready for that and going from college football to the NFL? And what have you been hearing from some different teams and general managers out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, exciting, just to see what's next. It's been a lot of hard work. I actually just finished the session here like 30 minutes ago. So it's just been, like I said, a lot of repetition, a lot of hard work every day. But I'm ready for it and it's been good. And as far as just like teams, just they just want to see because I played over the all over the back end my whole career besides corner. So just I guess teams just seeing like where what I best want to be at or just but I was just kind of, just been telling them just wherever I could play, free safety, strong, nickel, like it doesn't matter. And just a lot want to see my 40, see how good I move.
What do you think is your best attribute as a defensive back?
Um I'll say my mentality. because I play the nickel spot, and I think I love that spot the most because one snap you got to go be a corner and guard a receiver in the slot. Next snap I might be in the box and I got to fill in the A gap, and I got big offensive lineman that I got to get off me. Or I'm counting on to make that play in the box, even though I might not be the same size as our linebackers or our defensive line. So I'd say that was the biggest, but I mean, I love nickel. It's fun, and it's just like you got to have that mentality. Can't anybody just play that position?
Was there ever a defensive back, either in college football or the NFL now, that you sort of looked up to and try to emulate your game after?
Yes, I'd say it's probably like two or three. Jalen Petrie, Tyron Matthew, and then between Mika and Buda Baker, I like watching their tapes a lot, and I still watch their.
Yeah, all of those players are really good players, especially Tyron Matthew because he's one of my favorites. And even though he
Yeah,
wasn't the biggest person out there, only maybe like 5'9", 180, maybe on a good day, he would still get down there, in the slot and in the box and everything, but also could cover on the back end. And he wasn't afraid to come up and make tackles at all. So,
facts.
and then you got a guy like Buda Baker who covers really well in the back end, but he will come up and hit you with no
Yeah, Buda got a
hesitation at
motor
all.
on him.
For sure, absolutely. And how do you think you fare with other defensive backs who are also declaring for the 2026 NFL draft and just, seeing how their processes have been going also?
I think I feel good. Like I said, everybody is getting work or doing different work right now, working hard, trying to strive for the next goal and strive to see the results that they want to see, far as testing wise. But I think I'm just like not a lot of people played in the back end different positions. Over my career, I got a lot of snaps on the D line, I got a lot of snaps on the box, I got a lot of snaps in the boundary to the field, in the slot. So I think that's where it comes different because not a lot of people are doing that, and not a lot of people, not a lot of defensive backs just have the production from doing a lot of those things.
How do you think you'll do with the transition from college football to the NFL? Now, of course, college football is very difficult, very rigorous and strenuous, but the NFL, you have a little bit more free time in the NFL, but there's so much you have to learn, especially playbook wise. Take for example, from even high school, you may be playing cover two. When you get to college, that same cover two will look completely different. And then
Yeah.
when you get to the NFL, that same cover two might look even more different. So how do you
Mm.
think you'll do with just learning the new playbook and learning all the schemes and such?
I know like the playbook is bigger and thicker, so it will be challenging. But far as like just learning the playbook piece, I never kind of had a problem with that. Even coming into college, that's how I played early or whatever. I have a lot of friends that's in the NFL, so of course I ask them and talk about the playbook from time to time and just stuff to look for. But like I said, not even that. Just in my college career, just playing all those positions, my job can change at every different position or at each place. So just moving around in the back end and doing different things in college, I think it prepared me enough for that change when I go to the NFL.
Who are some of the players in the NFL currently that you've talked to who have gone through the same things that you have throughout the whole pre-draft process? And what type
Mhm.
of advice have they given you?
Um, Daniel Thomas, he's from that's my big brother. He's from my city. He send me, scriptures every day. When I do see him, just telling me just work. Like of course when you get to this level, everybody has talent, but far as the effort and your mentality, as far as work, it just got to be different. That what's gonna put you ahead the next guy because y'all both are talented in some way or maybe the same ways. And then Upton Stout, that's my dog for the 49ers. I played with him. Just talking to him, he really just like, easing my mind, just like far as what to expect when you go into meetings and just as far as the playbook, like just talking about how he matched it up with stuff we had in college or how he would just put in specific categories to learn the plays. And Mac Wilson. I haven't talked to him in a while, but before, like, the draft pre-draft stuff, I was just talking to me just about just being confident in everything I do. The way I approach the workout, the way I approach meetings, the way I approach talking to a scout maybe or a coach. So I just plenty more, but I'll say them was just the three main that like kind of stuck with me, and that helped me keep going.
And for those who are watching and for the people who don't know, what is the sort of process like training for your pro day? Because I'm sure that's tough. And a lot of people don't really realize what athletes go through and how hard it is to really train for their pro day and get ready for that.
Yeah, it's hard because I mean, when you go on pro day, it's only besides like the 40 and some other drills, it's only 1 or 2 reps. So it has to be perfect or at least perfect in your eyes or what I mean in the scout's eyes. And so when you're training for, today it was a today we had a 2 a day. We I went up there at 8, worked out, had a little hour lunch break, and then went on the field for another hour and 30. Some days it's 3 a day, so it's tough, like you said, on the body. Like, yeah, we just have time now, but it's basically going to work or either just sleeping. Drills, sleeping, recovery, um, reaching out to friends that you have, trying to like find new ways to get better, new drills, stuff to do, or just it really just talking to new people about little techniques that you could do or get away with or that you could do that could help you because we're training for drills obviously but also combine stuff like the 45, 10, 5 vertical. So it's like it's a lot of stuff in the day. You gotta for sure categorize it the right way because if not it'll fill up on you.
Who was your favorite NFL team when you were growing up?
The Ravens.
Ravens? Why?
I feel like the Ravens, they always just, far as defensive wise, they always have a dog on their defense. The mentality of the Ravens defense, far as like I know the offensive wise, it has changed over time, but far as defense is always a dog. I feel like the mentality never changes, no matter what players there or what coaches there. Is always a new guy or a new coach that come in and bring that same intensity.
And if you could pick which team you got drafted to, who would it be? Or is it just any team?
It's just any team, but of course, I like I said, I love the Ravens. Um, Ravens, Seahawks, wherever it's a lot of well, I like just a mentality, guys with that mentality, and those two teams, they got a lot of feisty DBs on that side and defense that's really want to get after.
Mm, what? Um, is there a dream matchup that you have between you and another wide receiver that's in the NFL currently? Like, if you were in the NFL today, right now, who would you want to go against?
If I'm in the NFL right now, who would I want to go against?
Like one on one, wide receiver versus DB.
I would say a guy like JSN. I feel like right now he got the league in a chokehold right now, so I want to go against the best. Yeah, I feel like he's one of the best right now.
Who are your top five defensive backs in the NFL right now?
Jalen Ramsey, Pat Surtain, uh, Derek Stingley, Quinyon Mitchell, and then I would throw in. Let me see. Let me try to throw in a safety. Uh, I would throw in Derwin James.
Yeah, Derwin James is nice. He's one of those other versatile players too, who can play down in the box and who
Yeah,
who can also cover it in the back end really well. And then you got a player like PS2, who's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and it's hard to get open against Pat for sure.
nah, facts.
And then Quinion, they call him Quintanamo Bay, I think now, or something like that. And so he's been doing,
Yeah, he got one side of the field strapped too.
yeah, he's been doing a really good job for the Eagles for sure. Who are your top five wide receivers in the NFL right now?
Top five, I'll go JSN, George Pickens, um, Puka. I would say Devontae Adams. I know he kind of probably took. It seems like the production not there, but he's still one of the best. And then lastly, I'll say I probably have to go to the CD Lamb.
Okay, all right. CD, I like CD. He got hurt a little bit this year, but I still think he still
Yeah,
ended up making the Pro Bowl. Him and Pickens did a really good job over there. And then you got a guy like Puka. Puka has just been going crazy the
man.
entire year. It was him and JSN the whole year. It was pretty much them
Oh
two
yeah,
on who was going
yeah.
to take Offensive Player of the Year. So, but yeah, I like that list. I like it for sure. Devontae is one of my favorites, though. I watched a lot of film on Devontae Adams, and he's just one of the smoothest route runners pretty much ever.
Nah, facts.
What are you looking forward to the most about the NFL?
I would say, I guess just matching up against the best every week. You know, in college, you might play one team that's not as good as the next, but in the NFL, like, I'm gonna just be lining up against the best every week.
Yeah, definitely. And they say in the NFL, everybody's good. It doesn't matter if a
Yeah,
team is 1-5, 1-6. Still, everybody in the NFL is a good football player.
facts.
How did you start playing football? Like, did you grow up like wanting to play football, or how did that work?
Um, to be honest, yeah, like I started since I was younger. It's kind of just like I'm from Bama, so like it's just a thing. Like as soon as you're old enough to scrap up those pads, like you're gonna get out there and play. So it was just like it was a non-negotiable, to be honest. And then I just took it and ran with it.
For those watching that may not know you all that well or your story all that much, what is something that you want them to know about you?
I would say when you turn on the tape, like it's just different. Like I feel like I got a motor. It's a different like mentality when you watch my tape. Um, Stand up guy, you know. Really don't talk too much unless it comes about football, and just I just love ball. You know, I mean, that's it. Like that's all I ever knew. That's all I grew up on. Like I don't have no hobbies. Maybe playing the game, but like I just love ball. Anything like sports. To be honest, any sport, but especially football.
If you didn't play football, what other sport would you play?
I would say either track or basketball.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
LeBron.
LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Easily?
Easily. Like it ain't even no discussion.
Okay, okay. And you said you would also run track as well. Did you run any events in high school?
Yeah, in high school I did the 4x1, the 200, and the 100.
Track is no joke. I know football workouts are tough, but so is track. But track will get you in probably the best shape of your life, though, because it
Yeah,
is
nah,
it is
track practice is
intense.
not fun until you get to the track meets. Track practice is like torture.
No, for real. You get to the meet, it's a bunch of people there. You're talking to people from other schools, and everybody's pretty much having a good time. So I get that definitely.
Yeah,
Only downside is you might be there all day though. That's the
all
only
day.
problem. That's the only For sure, for sure. And now I want to get into some of the more rapid fire fun questions. So, who's your favorite musical artist?
Future.
What's your favorite Future song?
Um, Diamonds dancing.
What's your pregame meal?
Pre-game meal. I try to go light, so maybe like a salad and like maybe like whatever. If they have like chicken or something, I'll cut it and put it in my salad. But I try to eat real light on game day or before the game.
If people could describe you with one word, what would it be?
Dog.
Okay, I like that one. Speaking of dogs, do you like animals?
Yeah, I have three of myself right now.
So they're all dogs?
Yeah,
What's your favorite dog breed?
Frenchie.
Frenchie? Nice, nice. Okay, okay. And are you more so like a sports drink person or do you just like drinking water?
Sports drink. I like the Gatorade over the Powerade. I don't too much. I'll drink a Powerade, but I feel like Gatorade is better.
Okay, for sure. What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show, ESPN,
And if you could vacation anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Bahamas.
Bahamas? All right, it's nice. I've never been out of the country though, so it'd be dope. It'd be
Me
dope to go over
either.
there.
I haven't been out the country either.
Well, Kendrick, thank you so much for joining the show. Where can they follow you on social media?
My Instagram is underscore who is simp. Um, and my Twitter is Kendrick Simpkins. Easy to find. That's the only socials I have. So if you follow me at either one, I'll shoot you a follow back. You could just see more for yourself.
All right, folks. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BJT_era, and also follow Kendrick as well. He just said his IG and Twitter names. And like I always say, hope you all have a good one. Peace out.